if you are in a relationship with somebody from another culture, just drop expectations.
By now, we all know that Pedro and Chantel are getting divorced, but we didn't know why. Well, now everything has come crashing down after he shared a picture with a new woman, and you'll never believe why. So Pedro has been trying his best to keep everything going on in his life a secret, but he recently shared a picture that proves that there's a lot more than he's actually letting on. Honestly speaking, Pedro and Chantel's situation just keeps getting worse with each passing day, and he really isn't doing anything to make his situation better for himself. So recently, he posted a really interesting photo on his Instagram story, and this picture made a lot of people start talking. For Pedro, what he's doing might not seem like much, but to everyone else, he's just fueling all the drama that's surrounding his cheating allegations. So Pedro posted a picture of himself with a mystery woman that didn't sit well with everyone, really. In the picture, he and this mystery woman appeared to be really cozy, you guys, with each other, and I have to say, you don't really get that cozy with just anyone, especially someone that is just a friend or a colleague. And to make matters worse, he tried blurring the face of this woman so no one would recognize her, and this had me thinking, if there's really nothing going on with Pedro and this woman, then why exactly did he try hiding her face from the rest of us? And well, whatever his reason might be, his plan didn't end up working in his favor. If anything, it completely backfired on him, because this picture Pedro shared with the mystery woman has caused a lot of speculation about what's actually going on in Pedro's life right now, most of which are negative. And Pedro doesn't seem to even care one bit about everything that's going on, and it makes you wonder if he's actually enjoying all the attention that he's getting, even though most of it, is actually very negative. But how long can Pedro actually stand the heat that he's been getting? The answer, if I had to guess, is not very long, because right after he posted his picture with the mystery woman, he shared another post that many people described as a very cryptic message on his Instagram page in less than a subtle attempt to defend himself. And he made a post on his Instagram story where he used a quote from the popular American novelist William Gaddis, and in his words, quote, "Stupidity is the deliberate cultivation of ignorance." And now, I don't know about you guys, but I think the message Pedro is trying to get across here is somewhat clear. I mean, Pedro is known very well for addressing issues directly, so I guess something like this is always expected from him, but still, I guess the least he would have done was to try and clear the air directly. I mean, he owes Chantel at least that much, but either way, from my understanding, the quote Pedro posted on his Instagram story was just him trying to say that it's kind of stupid to just assume things when you don't know the facts or truth. And I will admit that he is right, but his very secretive and strange behavior is the reason why there are so many speculations about him. And Pedro may be trying to claim that all the rumors about him aren't honest, but Chantel has a completely different thing to say about that. And let's just say that Pedro isn't the only one that knows, how to call people out with cryptic Instagram messages, because she made an Instagram post where she wrote a very interesting post about how a woman's intuition is always right, with no context at all. And now, even though Chantel's post was just direct with no context, really, I think we all know exactly what she was talking about, which is something that happened in a recent episode of The Family Chantel. And in this episode, Pedro was seen asking for Chantel for a divorce. And now what's crazy is that Chantel claimed that Pedro couldn't even look her in the eyes to ask for a divorce. And I don't know about you guys, but when someone finds it hard to look you in the eyes, most of the time it means they're trying to hide something from you. So it's like, what is Pedro trying to hide from Chantel? And my guess is probably the same as all of yours. And that's the fact that he, may not have been completely faithful in their marriage. And now if this is actually the case, then Chantel and the rest of us have obviously gotten wind of it. But what we don't know is when exactly Pedro was unfaithful, if he ever was, and if he was, with who. And it's really hard to trace it back and pinpoint the exact moment, because let's all be honest with ourselves, here at every point in Chantel and Pedro's relationship, he's been accused of cheating, and he's been linked with so many women, so it's getting hard to, keep up, really. And I mean, first, he was accused of cheating on Chantel with his sister's friend by none other than his younger sister, Nicole. And now we all know that Pedro and Nicole haven't really had the best relationship with themselves, and their relationship becomes worse over time because they both hated each other's partners, but still, a cheating allegation is a huge deal. And I honestly don't think that Nicole would lie about Pedro cheating, knowing very well that it wouldn't just ruin his marriage, but also ruin his reputation. And, like that wasn't bad enough, Pedro was also accused of cheating on Chantel with one of his coaches. co-workers, Antonella, and now everyone seemed really convinced that he was actually cheating on Chantel with Antonella because there was the incident of him coming home at 3 a.m. without his car, and then her name being attached to his keychain. And Pedro, did admit that he and Antonella are close friends, but that was all he said, and Pedro did what he always does. He left the room for crazy speculation. And at the end of the day, no one, not even Chantel, actually succeeded in proving that there was something going on with Pedro and Antonella. But that wasn't the end, because Antonella wasn't the only woman from Pedro's work that we all thought he was too comfortable with, considering the fact that he claimed that they were just friends. There was a picture of him standing next to two women who seemed to be his work associates that was leaked on Reddit. And at first glance, this picture might not really seem like much, since it was just Pedro standing next to two women, but with a closer look, you'll notice something kind of strange about the picture. One of the women had her hands on Pedro's stomach, and while she was standing way too close to Pedro to be considered just a friend, or even worse, a colleague from work, and Pedro and this woman's pose in the picture seemed way too intimate just to be brushed off, and this has got to have you wondering, is everyone this close to their colleagues? I mean, Pedro's behavior is all too familiar right now, and everyone is comparing him to his father, and this is really strange because all Pedro spoke about is how he never wanted to be like his father, who has no respect for women, and it's really sad that he can't see that that's exactly who it appears he's turning into. And coupled with how he can't even come up with a reason why he's getting a divorce from Chantel in the first place, he's more or less making everyone believe that the reason why he's leaving her is that he allegedly cheated and doesn't want to admit it. But do you guys think that this is the real reason for Pedro filing for a divorce? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And guys, like always, if you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor, hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.